want to start off my, my presentation with a question. When we talk about the most powerful navies in human history, what do we immediately think of? Anyone?
Spanish Armada.
Spanish Armada? Anyone? No? Well, what if I told you 6 centuries ago there was a fleet that rivaled in size with many modern navies today? That fleet is Zheng He's fleet, or the 14th century Chinese imperial fleet. Now, this fleet, without this fleet, my family would probably never immigrate to Malaysia. So this fleet is an important part of my cultural heritage. Today I'm going to inform you about Zheng He's fleet, the second largest fleet and the most powerful fleet ever assembled in human history. With modern day China boasting the largest fleet currently in modern history, it is only fair to look at its past. So first, who is Zheng He? He is a Chinese Muslim born in Kunming in the Yunnan province. His original name was Ma Sanbao. When he was 11, the main generals captured him, and he was castrated and sent to the main capital to be a eunuch. When he was sent to the main capital, he underwent military training as well as education. And he climbed the military ranks and became head eunuch in the main royal court, imperial court. When it came time for the main emperor at the time to pick a admiral to head his fleet, he chose Zheng He. He is a little bit of information. He is also a god in Southeast Asia. He's known as a god in Southeast Asia too. Now, what does the fleet look like? So that is a picture of what the fleet will look like. 317 ships, 28,000 men. The fleet was built in Nanjing in 7 huge dry docks, 300 meters each. It took a labor force of 20 to 30,000 men to build all those ships. The most notable of those ships, which you can see in the middle, are the treasure ships, 9-mast ships armed with cannons, between 440 to 538 feet, and has a displacement of half a US aircraft carrier at the time. This is a smaller ship. It's one of the support ships that were built. This is about 1/3 the size of the treasure ship that was the flagship of Zheng He's fleet. As a size comparison to European ships at the time, that at the bottom is Columbus's ship versus Zheng He's treasure ship at the time. It is about 1/3 to 1/5 the size. Now you're wondering, how does medieval China build such a huge ship? Well, most of the technologies you see on Columbus's ships were commonplace in China. The Chinese invented all these sailing technologies and engineering 1,000 years before Europe ever had. In comparison, 1,000 years ago, Europe was still using the Roman galley, and China was building 4 to 3-mast ships. This fleet made 7 important voyages across the world. These 7 voyages traveled to Vietnam, Malaya, Siam, Thailand at the time, Java, Brunei, India, Arabia, and Africa. In the first voyage, Dr. Su Grunwald, a specialist in Chinese history at Columbia University, wrote a unit on the Ming voyages. The first expedition, this mighty armada, 1405 to 07, was composed of 317 ships, including perhaps as much as 60 huge treasure ships and nearly 28,000 men. Just showing you the magnitude of the ships sailing across the world and the huge undertaking it was. During the voyages, the fleet established relations with kingdoms around Southeast Asia and South Asia with the goal of establishing trade deals and to present gifts to the royal court. One side note, that a giraffe was sailed from Africa all the way to the Ming court in China at this time. Now, what was truly the main goal of this fleet? The main goal of this fleet is the symbol of Chinese imperial power at the time. It was to push power. Zheng Panglou writes on the Encyclopedia Britannica on Zheng He's fleet, the Ming court then sought to display its naval power to bring maritime states of South and Southeast Asia in the line. This is done by displaying one of the largest armadas in human history. For perspective, timeline, world history documentaries, we stream history documentaries from the BBC. From the BBC says that comprised of 317 ships, 28,000 men, is larger than the combined fleets of Europe at the time, and a task force of this scale not seen until World War I, just showing the magnitude that you would see on the horizon of many coasts. Now I've told you about Zheng He's fleet, the man, the fleet, how the fleet was made, how it was comprised, and what its main goals are. This statue, which is in Malaysia, just shows you the symbol this fleet projected throughout history and all for time. Thank you.